Uh, Land readjustment is actually a very simple idea. This is approach for encouraging landowners to pull the land together for comprehensive redevelopment. When land parcels are assembled into a single large site, it's much easier to do comprehensive redevelopment that will allow the planners to make space for public use, such as a park or other public facilities. And also, most importantly, through land readjustment, land space can be reserved for sales, and the revenue can be used to cover the costs of infrastructure development. Now, land readjustment actually is a win-win approach for the government because of the voluntary pooling of land sites. The government will not have to use compulsory purchase or eminent domain to acquire land. That method has been proven politically, socially, and economically costly. For the communities, of course, when land readjustment upgrade the entire neighborhood in terms of putting public infrastructures, standard of living of the residents will increase. For the landowners, it's also a win case because with land being better served, land value will increase. Thereby, the net worth of the real assets will also rise. For the developer, it's also a good thing because now they are able to get land for profit-making operation. For most developer, getting land or developable land for development is the most difficult part of the entire operation. First and foremost is finance. The acquisition costs in most cases are very high, and by swapping land instead of acquiring land or forcefully, that upfront cost can be totally reduced. And second is land readjustment is a mechanism through which the communities can be sort of trained to involve in policy decision in a way that will be more open and inclusive. This approach will be beneficial for not only from a technical viewpoint, but also for an institutional and governance building viewpoint. Developing countries normally depend on experts from the World Bank, UN Habitat, or other academic institutions to help them with the project. The local indigenous experts are not building their own capacity enough to sustain this kind of operation without the assistance from outside. So my argument in the course that we put together is to look at land readjustment from a governance building perspective. On the top of knowing all the technique, how to assemble land, calculate land value before and after land readjustment, we also have to focus on how to engage different stakeholders in a very open and inclusive way. Thereby, they feel a sense of ownership of the project, and they will be eager to learn all the details and technique and come up with indigenous way that fit their own context to perfect the method in a way that can carry on to assembled land to rebuild old neighborhood or convert rural land into urban use. So again, one more time, I think a more governance-centered approach of land readjustment, I would think personally, would be the best way to push their agenda forward into the future. Land readjustment entails a high level of coordination and cooperation. And I must admit that we do not do that very well, especially when we talk about our own assets. But land readjustment is exactly the approach that require people to do that in order to be successful. So that is the biggest challenge. How can we change people's mindset from a very self-centered approach into more of a community approach? Land value can only be created collectively. Showing actual cases that have been successful in doing land readjustment, lay the groundwork or provide the different elements for this kind of approach for country to pick and choose, and then assemble it together according to their own context to make it workable in their own countries. And I think the approach of accumulating more and more successful stories and cases is the very, very important step towards propagating or scaling up land readjustment at a global level.